When we talk about the bloodiest family feuds in history, we are not talking about distant legends or exaggerated myths. We are talking about real people, real families, and real choices that turned homes into battlefields and bloodlines into weapons. These stories begin quietly, around dinner tables, in whispered conversations, in jealous glances that linger a second too long. History teaches us that the most dangerous enemy is often the one who knows you best, and no one knows you better than family. In ancient Rome, power was never inherited peacefully. Emperors did not sleep easily because their greatest threat lived under the same roof. Sons learned early that affection could be fatal. Brothers learned that survival required suspicion. In this world, family was not safety, it was competition. The Roman household became a training ground for betrayal, where love and violence existed side by side. The Julio-Claudian dynasty tells this story in blood. Augustus built an empire, but what followed was paranoia. Tiberius ruled through fear. Caligula ruled through terror. Claudius was poisoned. Nero killed his own mother. Each generation believed it could control power better than the last. Each generation fell faster. Rome was not undone by barbarians at the gates, but by knives drawn inside its own family. Across medieval England, another family feud rewrote history. The Wars of the Roses were not fought between strangers, they were fought between cousins who shared the same ancestors and the same claim to the throne. The houses of Lancaster and York tore England apart, generation after generation, all while insisting they were the rightful heirs. Children grew up knowing that their last name could be a death sentence. These wars lasted decades, but their origin was simple. Pride, insecurity, the refusal to step aside. No one wanted compromise, no one wanted peace. Victory became more important than survival, and by the time the war ended, nearly everyone who began it was dead. In Renaissance Italy, the Medici family rose to unimaginable wealth and influence. They were patrons of art, builders of cities, and masters of political strategy. But inside the family, trust was fragile. Power was guarded fiercely. Relatives disappeared quietly. Poison was a common solution. To protect the family name, they destroyed the family itself. Their legacy lives on in museums, but their bloodline faded into history. The Borgia family tells a darker version of the same tale. Their name became synonymous with corruption, intrigue, and cruelty. Fathers used children as political tools. Siblings competed for favor and survival. Alliances shifted overnight. Love was conditional. Betrayal was expected. In the end, the Borgias were consumed not by enemies, but by the instability they created themselves. Further east, the Ottoman Empire institutionalized family murder. Princes were raised knowing that only one could survive. Brothers were executed to prevent civil war. It was considered practical, efficient, necessary, and for a time it worked. But a system built on normalized violence cannot last forever. Rulers grew isolated, trust vanished, fear replaced loyalty. The empire weakened from within. These stories repeat across continents and centuries. The House of Habsburg ruled much of Europe by marrying within the family, convinced that blood purity preserved power. Instead, it produced fragile rulers, declining health, and political stagnation. The family refused to change, refused to adapt, and history punished that refusal. What connects all these feuds is not cruelty alone. It is fear. Fear of losing power, fear of being replaced, fear of becoming irrelevant. Family feuds are rarely born from hatred. They are born from insecurity, allowed to grow unchecked. Every one of these families believed they were special, chosen, entitled, and that belief justified everything that followed. When people believe power is owed to them, they stop questioning their actions. Violence becomes a tool, betrayal becomes strategy, murder becomes policy. These feuds did not begin with bloodshed. They began with silence, with unspoken resentment, with favoritism, with unresolved conflict. History shows us that what is ignored does not disappear. It waits, it grows, and eventually it explodes. The lesson of the bloodiest family feuds in history is not simply that power corrupts. It is that unresolved human weakness destroys everything it touches. Families fall when truth is avoided. Empires fall when ego replaces accountability. These stories endure because they are not ancient, they are human. The weapons may change, but the patterns remain. Silence becomes distance, distance becomes division, division becomes destruction. History remembers these families not for their love, but for their failure to confront themselves. Their names survive as warnings, etched into time. Because blood alone does not create loyalty, and family without trust and responsibility becomes the most dangerous battlefield of all. And that is why these stories still matter, because the past is never as distant as we think.